like talking about two, just Elysian Tail. That was quite the.
The path above has been made clear.
And you got this, but
Well, let's forget what I just wanted to say, because I just genuinely forgot what I wanted to say. Screen decisions are remarkably quick here. It's buried under. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ho! Go to single-use key. Never bothers to explain why it's a single-use. Oh, we can hide. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, we missed that opportunity. What is wrong with this mountain? Ho! Also, how do these wings work from a technical standpoint? Like, how does he get wings in the first place, and how does he manipulate them? Are they magic? Am I magic? Is anything really magic? Or is it all like psychokinesis? I'm not going back there. Well, so where's this something fierce you talked about before, Mr. What was his name again? Yeah, Ra talked about something fierce being stirred up, but only the big wins. Because we already fought one of the. Are we at the end yet? No. Gee, these mountains. Jeez, it's near impossible to see anything out here. What is he doing down here? Why are you out here, just ask why? And that brings it 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What do you have for sale? My good chum, old pal, old chumming to. Ooh. I already have a schematic for that, don't I? Ho! I love lasagna. That stuff's the shit. Happy birthday to you. I wonder if they're like, the fun thing about Dream Team, or what is it even called? Something. It's probably called something else in the American version or something. But in Dream Team, there's an item called the birthday item, which dramatically increases your power only on your birthday. Otherwise, it's not that great. But I like lasagna.
Your trends.
It's very, very nice. I don't know. If it's a nice, soft and squishy lasagna, that makes me goob. Make all those silly noises. Whoops! Just, can you stop being an easy target? I wonder what we're eating tonight. I really do. It is a mystery that I need an answer to somehow, some way, somewhere. And does decide to explode into a million fart noises. Good job. Now hold R until you feel the click. Man, we've got a lot of levels to go. I wonder what the cap is. I wonder why the cap's that high, because really we don't need that many levels, do we? For all stats as well. What just happened? How did it happen? Okay, that probably happened. Good job, Wolf. And I watched that Mr. Plinkett review of Star Wars 3. It was pretty cool. I have the strange sensation that the actual thing I'm looking for is not over there, surprisingly? What the fuck? Jeez, I hate how my chain gets broken. I know there's not much experience in the chains right now, but it's still some experience, right? Like, you can't say it's nothing. Especially the really good chains. Oh yeah, this is where we're supposed to have the red crystal. And they're supposed to bow down. But we don't have the red crystal. So fuck them. We can't do that yet. I forgot where that was, but it's practically around here. Whoops! There's way too much snow out here. Why, B? A bee? Exactly, a bee. Which one am I? 4 regen. What's this one? It's 4 regen, but it gives me a lot more oomph. And we get the treasure, let's go. I really don't care about anything else that might be there to explore. I'm just... Sorry, folk. Because it's such a mash, you're not likely to hold the button, and that's how the game gets you. That's how it nips you in the butt. Remember, like, why do you like saying nipping in the butt? I like saying nipping in the butt, because it's nipping you in the butt. But do not forget, I'm looking for input as to how to handle my Dark Souls playthrough now that I managed to get Dark Souls to work again. As to do I start again, and if I start again with which class, do I continue my header-up playthrough where I basically explore ahead? Because I know the game back to front. Don't think that I'm an idiot. I have a map. I've seen several playthroughs. It's just for personal experience. Frozen Blade. You only have 3 of them, so get bent. I do not know what that would do to you to be bent, but you know what they say. If you can't be a bender, you can't be a fender. A sex offender, that is. Who doesn't like one of those? Don't forget to contact your local neighborhood sex offender. Sir, you did not have sex in an appropriate fashion. Can you imagine sex police like that? It's like, sir, you need to... You can't. That's not how you use that piece, sir. And he's like, oh man, girls can't dig me with that kind of score. That's about you. It's so bad, it makes me nauseous. But you know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor at bay. Because one must always be defended from a doctor. Do not fear, I am a doctor. That's exactly what I'm afraid of. You're gonna doctor all over my stuff. Same noise, little... What the heck is with this platform? Look at how massive it is. Look, blub, 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 blub. I'm a big old platform. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And we're... Whoa, look at all that fancy ice. There is still more treasure. Where could this treasure be? Where? Can someone just tell me? Can you tell me? Hey, smart boy, pretty boy, You've been talking smack all this playthrough and you haven't offered any advice, have you? How about you stop talking smack and start talking whack? Warriors, whoa! That is a fancy bit of work. Good job. Ratchet. Ratchet and Clank. Good job, me! I have no idea where to go. I'm kinda sick. Just a little bit, though. Not too much. Just feeling a bit queasy. Oh, I hate being a bit queasy. Wow. I can't believe you're so allergic to spikes that touching the sides of one just makes you cough. I wonder if we're going to find a bomb. This is just getting nuts. These are way too many spikes. Okay, whoever interrupted my combo, kudos on that, because I thought I had everyone stuck in my stun loop. Skill gem available. Another pedant of Le Marche. Great, great. I see where this is going. Absolutely nowhere. I need to heal up. Just stuffs his face with a couple of hot dogs and all of your problems will magically go away. Ah, so you have a broken leg. Eat this hot dog! Why is the camera so zoomed in? That is something you should catch during the bug testing phases, dear Sir Esquire. I have 100,000 keys. I don't really care. Birthday cakes! Oh man, it's my birthday! It's your birthday! But the question is it really your birthday? This platform could go a bit faster, by the way. Oh, they've got little feathers and eagle face on the... I like how I just continuously manage to smack my face on everything that hurts me. Good job. Now hold R until you feel the... Are you fucking shitting me? I have to carry a bomb up here! I hope this isn't a fat steaming dump on my face, because this feels like a fat steaming dump on my face. Are you certain this is even humanly possible? Well... Apparently the game thinks this is humanly possible. said I was going to do my best on 100%ing this game, so... Not that I'm arguing the whole concept, it's just that... What? Just look at that shit. Now I have to go all the way back down. Get on the platform, pick up a fresh one. You know, this is a lot more fun if this didn't take so long. And the other platform doesn't move. I like how it moved right more than it... I'm just... This game is a really nice particle engine. And as you may know, I like particle engines. I really do. I like to imagine that they are the future. Then in a long gone time from now, people look back and they'll judge games by their particle engine. They'll say, Thief looks like shit, because it doesn't have a good particle engine. I actually think Thief's biggest problem is the control scheme. I've tried to play Thief 1 and Thief 2 and like... I understand this is from before a time when mice were commonplace, but... Consider me vom-tastic. 2 times fidget. Holy pachinko. Which my fidget ring? That is a straight up. Let's see. This is 3 times item. Do I really want that if I could get fidget into the millions? The answer is fuck that noise. Fidget is the bomb. And we're almost at Angst 2.0, so... Gosh, I just want to see how much damage... this does, but I can barely read the numbers. Did I just do 300 damage? Holy pachinko, that is just maddening. Do I want to end this episode on Angst 2.0 or not? Because I think that's actually the closest exit from this area we have, so... Pretty much gonna have to do it. You better not run, you better not cry, or I will find you and I'll tell you something. The snowstorm is more annoying than it really gets in the way of anything. Look how strong that is. Fidget, you are the bomb. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming, did you? Except that you totally did, because it's... Wow. That really affects the physics, to have the snowstorm going on. Pretty cool. It's going to be quite the trek to get back to that spot with the little hourglass, by the way. We got 30,000 Bloongermans. That is a smack of cash, if I ever saw one. Just running animation doesn't line up with the ground that he moves on, cause it's smuck. Doo 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 doo. Fell on my nose. There's no noise, there's no music. And there's a really strong blue filter everywhere when that snowstorm rages. Mountain gear. Better than the snowsuit, I guess. Can I buy all of this? Can I buy 4? Nope. You rarely have inventory. You need to fix that. And Fidget will go blue in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like how Fidget still has a sort of an orange glow going on. Can I get an autosave? You know, we're gonna do Angst 2.0 with this video, because, you know, it's no, actually, that's a really long segment, if I remember. Fidget, you better load those modules! His idle animation is surprisingly smooth compared to any common animation that's a little bit more janky. It's kind of weird. Just something on... Oh great, the lighting engine decided to kick in. This game has some issues loading in stuff. Of course why would... He's always like, ho ho ho, saw you coming. What's this? 3 times fidget. Are you shitting me? That's a thing? That's a thing! That's a thing. The foul ring of... Taking one. I like how he still doesn't sell anything good in terms of weapons.
Your trends.
Fidget, you're about to become Fuckmaster 5000. I hope you're ready. Holy pachinko! This is nuts. How much regen do I get? I get like 100 regen now. Or 10-ish. At least 20. 25 maybe? 25 sounds about right. At the very least 20.
There was a road here.
The hell are you talking about, Dust? Before what day? Before Christmas? I know Christmas drives people mad, so don't...
Look, up ahead. A village.
I got my
All
window
the way
open.
up here? Do you think it's that...
No, it's something else.
That is such a Half-Life 2 thing.
Halt! What? No. Impossible!
I like how his default animation is him grasping forward ever so slightly. Also, note how his coloration is a little bit funky because the left hand and the right hand, the gloves, look very awkward because of the lining. He looks very... His armor just looks really weird in general because of the outlines being... like he blends into one big soup.
Cassius!
What did you call me?
Like, Dust has some defined lines, but this guy's like...
You were dead! No. No, this is...
Oh, these guys can block too? Can they block this? The answer is no, of course. That was for blocking my stuff.
Why? Why destroy such a peaceful...
Dust, what are you talking about? And...
It's not my name. I'd remember it.
I like how we do this right in front of a slide and a swing set. Because mimicking Half-Life... Half-Life did that, but I think Half-Life mostly did it to establish the kids are dead! And here it's like, this place is nice, because it has a swing set and a slide. I don't think you need a slide when there's snow and hills everywhere. But that's beside the point. It's Zeppelin. Sounds like Zeppelin. That's pretty cool. It sounds like...
looks like this place has been destroyed for quite some time.
Couldn't tell by all the snow.
A year, actually.
Huh? How do you know that?
I bought this flyer about a history of this place.
This was a Ginger's village. I was here 1 year ago.
Oh, Dust.
But I don't remember any of it. I remember this place, but it feels like it's been more than a year. Ara, what does it mean?
Well, I should really give some input because he knows more than anyone.
It only means that things are not as they seem. Explore the...
Yeah, they're really pushing the, oh my god, Dust was an asshole, he just has amnesia for reasons we still haven't explained.
This house...
It's the only house we can enter. It's the only house that looks somewhat intact.
Do you remember something?
This isn't possible.
That it's a house? I think it's pretty normal for houses to exist, Dust. We can leave. We can, so I will. No! Magic portal that pushes me away ever so slightly prevents me from escaping this plot point. The reason being that I think crossing this border causes it to enter the next area, so... course, there's no treasure to break the theme.
Dust?
How?
Do you see now?
I see nothing. The lighting engine's bust.
But how?
The answers lie above.
Fidget must be the most confused individual right now because to her this doesn't and can't make any sense. How could so boarded up and dusty and murky? It's just it's animation.
Ginger. She was sleeping right here on the night I came to say goodbye. But I hesitated. I didn't want to wake her. Didn't want her to worry about me. She couldn't know what I was about to do.
Dust, what are you saying?
She couldn't know that I was about to go avenge our parents.
I like how he glows.
You're... But how? What's going on here?
He's also the guy that killed everyone. So
I
that makes no
remember
sense.
now. But how? How can I have helped destroy this village, but be a victim of that same act?
Looks like a
That's
storyboard.
impossible.
And he also doesn't sound as...
Only impossible for a creature with a single soul.
Hey, it's that guy.
Ginger.
Those eyes. I know those eyes.
So, Mithrarin, you finally see the truth.
Sen Mithraden, please be polite. And then we go to this.
Who are you?
So, a couple points I want to bring up. That was some pretty crappy animation, but that is pretty much how anime works, is you work with keyframes, because then you can do some nice splash effects, you make things look fancy. But in anime, the characters always look like fucking shit, which is why I really like this art style, which combines the prospects of anime in the nice, detailed pastel backgrounds with somewhat more detailed, very striking characters. So, yeah, Dust apparently does two things at once. He's magic. We suddenly have random character introduction. Kind of wrong. I don't think this guy should just pop into the scene and be like, I'm a guy! Ginger should just be in the scene, and the guy pops up a bit later. It's just a bit of directing that should have happened. I also feel that it's kind of weird to suddenly have this animated sequence. And it's also weird that he just pops on the hat again. He could have just half the hat off, like, just for this sequence, not have him wear it, but I guess it has to do with obscuring his emotions and the whole eye thing. And just in general, showing that he's not her or whatever. I will say, her ears are significantly less floppy. But I can see the similarities, which is easy enough with this art style.
I am Elder Grey Eyes, leader of the Moon.
He has grey eyes.
Well, what's left of them, that is.
It's nice that he has an incredibly magical floaty part staff with a light in it. And his shadows just make no sense whatsoever, because he wears a ferret for one, or a fox thing. But look at the shading around his eyes and the eyebrows. It doesn't look... It looks wise and whimsical, but come on. You've got the rest of his shading right, for the most part.
What did you mean just then? That I can finally see the truth? What do you know about me?
On the other hand, it could be that his forehead just extends forward more than we can see.
His eyes, Elder. They're Jin's eyes.
I never got this. I always figured this is some... I don't know. I'm not a sociable person, so I can't read social cues all that well. So unless you're groaning, I can't tell, but... Everyone talks about eyes, so I guess that at some emotional level, if you're more emotional than me and more empathetic than I am, then you can probably read things via eyes, which I guess has to do with the wideness of eyes, directional staring, and all that sort of mumbo-jumbo, and just facial expressions on the fringe. But yeah, despite him putting his hat back on, she can still confirm that those are his eyes.
They do look remarkably similar to your brother's, yes. That is because his soul lives on within Dust.
Now we get to the part where things just get a bit cuckoo and start going towards the point where I think that, I don't know, it kind of, it's nice. It's a good spin on the tale, but it does feel a bit, kind of going places, you know. It's a little bit too whimsical.
What?
However, to suit our needs, we required 2 souls. The soul of innocence is a noble thing, but without skill, without power, Dust would have been struck down just as easily as your brother was on that fated day.
So that's why some people call him Cassius and some call him Jin, because somehow they look exactly the same. Or maybe Dust took Cassius' appearance. I don't even know what that part's about.
No.
one thing I never liked about this kind of art style is that her eyelashes are going straight through her hair. And it looks... And even her eyebrows, I never got that. Is her hair supposed to be transparent or what? Because then we should see the contours of her head, and that just looks weird. Also, how can she have red hair and incredibly black eyelashes? That's a lot of makeup, girl.
So we combined your brother's soul with that of his murderer, the royal assassin known as Cassius. They perished at the same time, forever entwined. Never before had I heard of such an event.
I like how his staff is slightly delayed from the top, so that it sort of follows his motions later. That's pretty cool, but yeah, weird stuff's going on. Weird stuff. Also, despite the fact that he has claws, he does that weird anime thing where you don't actually see his claws, but it's implied they're there. Never got that. It looks very weird and impractical. I like his coat. Lots of fur, though. It's kind of mean. Cassius looks badass, by the way.
You murderer! My parents did nothing wrong!
That's where Dust got his angst
You've been
from.
deceived, little one. Your parents turned against their king, an act of pure treason. What resistance there was led by your family alone. You destroyed my village, murdered my friends and family. You will not survive this day! I take no joy in slaughtering one as young as you, child. But you have forced my hand.
Why does he have to shout? He's an assassin. So yeah, I never got the whole...
A grave injustice was done that day. Cassius murdered a defenseless djinn, but his pride and arrogance proved to be his undoing.
I can imagine that stuff on his head is actual moss, because Cassius doesn't have that stuff on his head. That's just something that grew on his head while he was asleep. I like to imagine that, because it makes a lot more sense. Because he sort of just took the moss and he split it aside, because like, oh man, there's moss in front of my head. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? But he never bothered to peel it off. That sounds like an annoying job. But yeah, Cassius shouting, kind of out of character. But yeah, also Dust got all his my angsty from Jin, which matches up because Arad doesn't have the skill. It comes all from Cassius, and in reality, yeah, it's so yeah, Dust is innocent because of Jin, but he's skillful because of Cassius, I guess, or maybe Arad can channel Cassius or something.
But how? How can this thing be my brother?
That is the meanest thing you can say to someone, by the way. For someone who saved your life, presumably, and someone who pretty much saved some other people's lives, you shouldn't call people things unless they've done something horrible and despicable, and they've done it knowingly, willingly, and are willing to confess to the fact that they did it. Of course, there are a couple of exceptions, because if if you can be tied sufficiently to it, and it was definitely you and not your twin brother, then you can call someone a thing, I guess, but this is kind of rude. We're having a spiritual revelation, and she just says, "You're a thing." I think Jin would slap her for that, because that's just too far.
It's not possible. I couldn't even remember you when we met.
You are Jin, yes. But you are also Cassius. Two souls, forever at odds. One of innocence, one of power. Together you form the one we call Mithrarin, he who is born of the dust.
Ha ha. This game really loves tying the dust stuff together, doesn't it?
I never knew what happened. Jin just disappeared one night. I had always hoped he would turn up alive someday.
Well,
That he would come back. But could you really be him?
I have to say, Grey Eyes should have explained this better, because she sounds like she didn't understand a thing he just said.
Ginger, I don't know. I don't know.
You have to imagine that Fidget is still confused as fuck as what's happening. And Dust, too, must be very confused because suddenly he's expected to be someone that he isn't, as well as being expected to be someone completely else that he isn't. And Fidget is just like, what the hell's going on? I just have a cold, people.
Now, Dust, I imagine you have many questions.
How the hell does...
Please,
I get this.
do not
This I get.
hesitate to ask them.
He's like, oh man, I'm magic. And this is because he's magic. Because he's fragmented, all that stuff. This is probably the biggest question you want to ask.
How does the Blade of Ara fit into all this? What is it exactly?
What is Ara? Because it's the blade of Ara. So Ara is a place or a person or a location or an event. It's kind of weird that the blade calls itself Ara, because that either implies that Ara is a person and imbues himself into the blade or something. We don't know.
It is one of the 5 blades of Elysium, ancient weapons forged when our kind were many, and the way of the flameless light was commonplace.
Which you can assume is some sort of magic.
Wait. What the heck is the way of the flameless light?
Might I say Fidget has adorable little pawsies, which go pitter-patter, pitter-patter.
A path we Moonbloods continue to follow. It is a way of living, a way of thought, that allows us to make use of a power both old and great. Magic without magic.
Essentially the thing inside his staff, but it's one of those philosophical, it's that, but it isn't. I never like that because it's just bullshit. If it's magic without magic, don't call it magic. Don't even say that sentence because it's what it isn't. That's like saying it's red, but it's not red. Then what is it? You've given me no information whatsoever other than sounding like a jackass.
I am so confused.
You've been that for like the last 5 cutscenes.
Surely, as Nimbat's Sword Guardian, you've studied the ancient doctrines. You must know, in the event that the sword is summoned by its rightful owner, you are obligated to follow.
Does the rightful owner is the question? Did he summon it? If so, why and how? Because if he's a twin, so how could he do that? And he looks very concerned, which is kind of cute.
I may have skipped over that chapter?
Yeah, you don't look like the reading type with those blank, lifeless, evil eyes. And those weird stripes.
You haven't answered my question.
The blades of Elysium were created to guide their sword-bearers, Dust. I was summoned to your side to ensure a balance was maintained between the souls within.
But who summoned him is the question. Because Ara couldn't just, whoop, I'm there. Someone had to do it, but who did it? Why? How can they transfer ownership if the person who summoned it didn't take it?
Ah, my old friend. It is good to hear your voice once more.
So Ara is a person.
It has been a long time, Master.
And he owned it. This is just getting worse.
Wait just a second. How can you possibly know each other? My clan's been keeping the sword hidden for over 200 years.
This is another piece of bad writing where it's like, here's a piece of exposition so we can go into this transition where this guy can give his information. The only reason she mentions the 200 years is so this guy can be like, man, I can be as old as I want. Ho ho ho! That is the weirdest segue. It's just not a good segue in my opinion. It's kind of flat. It's like, I have no idea how to introduce this. They could have just not mentioned it. It could have just been like, well, how old are you? Like, a small talk. Like, okay, so I don't know how fucking old I am, because I can't know. But how old are you? You look pretty old, dude. How long have you been doing this? And he's like, oh, I've been doing this for a couple of 100 years. And that would have been a great one. But this is so flat. It's like, oh, by the way, here's a little bit of plot I could have mentioned. She should have mentioned that earlier. Just when we found her, she's like, oh, 200 years. And then Dust brings it up now. You're like, oh, man, that's so super cool. But nope. Fidget has to drop it. She has to drop the ball because everyone's stupid.
Master Grey Eyes has lived for a very long time, Fidget. Longer than any of you.
And this voice, just... I can't...
So you were sent to keep an eye on me?
To help you reach your true potential. Nothing more.
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain to what extent Ara is simply channeling Cassius. Or if Cassius is doing it, it's just like, it's a sword that talks. Still like the flame effect.
Who?
You are what my people call Sen Mithrarin, he who is born of the dust, created from the essence of the life thread itself.
That's pretty fancy. So yeah, Semithran, if I remember correctly, one of the achievements mentions this and technically drops a bit of plot. Whoops. But I think they removed it by hiding it now.
You see, my people have been on the verge of extinction for a great many years. General Gaius planned to eradicate us once and for all, and while our warriors are proud and strong, what chance would we have against such a powerful foe? To defeat General Gaius and save our people, we would need a warrior capable of standing against an entire army. This warrior would also need to be pure of heart. Incorruptible.
The biggest problem I have with this is that it doesn't paint a moral gray a gray moral ground. It basically says Gaius is pure evil, you're nice. It never tries to make the point that the Moonbloods could have been complete and utter jackasses for whatever reason. It doesn't paint out why Gaius is so adamantly against these guys, because these guys have magic. Gaius could have gotten some really good things out of these guys by learning the ways of the magic and doing magic stuff. So, obviously, Gaius must have some massive motivation for going against what could be the largest technological advancements his species could have had. So, it's a bit weird to say, oh, he's evil, but he must have had a reason to go against the people that have such fancy stuff. Like, there must be more to it, because it's just a little bit crass otherwise.
So that's why you picked Cassius and Jin. Just like you said, opposites.
They are so close. I imagine that Cassius is something related to Yang, just to be vile about it, and that Cassius is an effeminate dude, cause Yang stands for ladies and evil.
Exactly. Cassius is one of the greatest warriors this world has ever seen.
He's an assassin, not a warrior.
And Jin's purity of heart would help guide our warrior to save our kind. From
But
their
how?
soul,
It's not explained
you
how
were
Dust
born.
came to be, because
Born
they're
to
both
save
killed.
us,
How did his
to
body
save
form?
this
How did he get
world.
clothes? How did anyone know where the fuck to find this guy? This is sort of a Dark Souls thing. Like, Dark Souls doesn't explain how you get the Undead Curse, or how you get the Dark Sign. But you don't care, because in Dark Souls there's a lot of things that aren't properly explained. This is a Dark Souls moment where it's like, it just happens! Magic! Boo! But we've had pretty concrete explanations as to how something's happened before. So that's kind of, ooh.
Why did I only remember now? I didn't even recognize Ginger when I met her.
Because you're close to the place you died, I assume.
You may possess the souls of two separate beings, but your body and mind are your own. You were created to save this world, so we felt giving you memories of either soul would simply distract you from the task.
So
at
he
hand.
made him. But this creates the problem, how the fuck did he end up back there? Because he ends up in the neighborhood of A, the Sword of Ra, B, a place that Gaius has already streamlined to death, and C, he's close to a village that already has its own problem. How did this happen? Unless the merchant, which I'm going to spoil, he's a Moonblood. The merchant, maybe? The merchant, but why take him there? To test him? Eh.
I had no idea who I was, what my purpose was.
That is a big flaw in the plan, by the way. This is a Joker-esque plan with way too many moving pieces. How could they even know that Dust wouldn't just turn out to be a jackass because of something horrible? Remember Down? Down they was like, oh no, I failed, I'm an idiot. And that could have made him pretty bad. That would have probably been the point that Ara's like, whoopsie snickerdoodles, this plan wasn't as concrete as we thought it was.
You say that, but in all cases you did exactly what we intended you to do. You saved complete strangers outside of Aurora Village. You stopped our wayward brother Fuse from destroying all that we sought to save.
How did Fuse even get there if Gaius marched through there and just blew everything up? I mean, Fuse is probably the guy you should be following, considering that he got past the whole murder-death line of Gaius.
You saved Mudpot and brought the waters of life back into this land. You purged a demonic rage from this land and even helped two old souls find peace once more. You may not have known your purpose, but that did not stop you from fulfilling it.
This is the worst part because it implies that all that random stuff we did was I'm not even going to go into that one.
And now I'm here.
Again, it's a lot of vagueness for no reason despite there being a lot of concrete stuff happening. Like, this is the thing. In Dark Souls, the NPCs are weird. They're vague about stuff. So you can be vague. But here, people are pretty damn concrete in what they say. So it's kind of bullshit when you pull the ticket on that. You can just say, well, I don't know. I'd be fine. Because people don't know everything. But here they're like, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm not going to let you ask.
Yes. Now you are here.
This is a good question. Who the hell was
Who
Fuse?
was Fuse? He said he was a Moonblood.
Yeah, you look
but
kind of mechanical
he
like
looks
General
nothing like
Grievous.
Fuse. He was once a fine warrior, and a close friend of Ginger's family. He would help transport goods between this village and our camp.
Also, General Gaius and the King of Falana, or whatever it's called, they seem to be a minority. The amount of Moonblood sympathizers appear to have filled this massive portion of the map. How did he get support for this campaign? How did the king think this was a good plan? Because most animes like this, like, the king's a good guy. The king listens to the people, so... And General Gaius appears to be the main instigator as well.
After the village was destroyed, I guess he lost his mind.
But losing your mind doesn't change who you are.
He was horribly disfigured after the attack. The only way he could survive was in a special suit of magical armor that I helped to construct. He demanded we
That
attack
is
General
the
Gaius
most
right
Deus
away.
Ex Machina way you
I
can
would
explain
not
that ever,
him.
but hey,
He would have
he was an
killed
early
us
villain,
all
nobody
in
gave a
the
shit.
name of vengeance.
You can get away with
We would not have
stuff like
stood
that,
a
I guess,
chance.
to a degree.
When I refused to send our warriors into battle, he called me a coward and vowed that he would destroy Gaius with or without my help. I fear the very armor we made to save his life had corrupted his mind.
A few
and
things. I
body
really like
beyond
this voice
repair.
actor. Second, I like that explanation that the magical techno gumbo that was supposed to make him RoboCop made him bad RoboCop. It's a nice little thing. And this guy really pulls off the wise seer. Kudos to you, Mr. Voice Actor. That's an applause for you.
Poor guy. If only we could have gotten through to him somehow.
Still haven't seen that boss that Ara was talking about.
No, you're right to kill him. If he...
Ginger is right. Fuse was beyond saving. For all our sakes,
I have no more questions.
you must join us in the Moonblood camp to the north in the Everdawn Basin.
Fancy name.
That isn't anywhere near the Everdawn volcanoes, is it?
They are one and the same, yes?
I like how plainly he answers, like, oh, well, that's just close. I've been there hundreds of times, it's fine.
Well, that's fantastic.
I imagine that she would like it, because in a volcano, her wings will be significantly more effective due to the rising heat. So she could just stay all the way away from that hot stuff.
Volcanoes?
Indeed. What a better place to hide than in the most volatile land in all the kingdom.
Another reason is because cold-blooded creatures become super hyperactive when they're heated. So being close to a volcano would make them super warriors compared to Gaius' crap. Benefit of being cold-blooded, but also they're negative, because this guy should not be able to function in the cold mountains. He should eventually just cool down and stop moving and fall asleep forever. Negative of being cold-blooded.
Oh, I know. How about a peaceful meadow? Or a quiet forest? Or someplace that doesn't explode every 10 minutes?
For someone who lives in a peaceful, quiet meadow, you know a lot about volcanoes. But not about the blades you're supposed to protect. Also, like that arm fold. Looks really nice.
Dust, your friend seems awfully tense.
You're tense. Everyone here's pretty damn calm. She's just a little bit upset. You're the one tense when like, angst. The reason this scene isn't as angsty is because of all the plot and exposition dump that sort of mellows down the tone. Even with that animation, it's still like, eh, it happened. The angstiest part is either Ginger or Jin being like, but again, one thing about the animation is that Dust doesn't look like he's gasping as much, which kind of breaks the voice acting compared to the lip syncing.
No, I'm fine. Come on, let's go to the blowy up mountains. Really, I'm serious.
This kind of sarcasm breaks the tone as well. Oh, man, I should close my window because it's so loud outside.
Fidget, you need to have more faith in me.
I'll have faith in you when you have faith in yourself. How about it, huh?
Vengeance!
Who are you? Really?
I'm just me.
I
I imagine it doesn't matter.
You see? You still haven't figured it out yet. The lizard guy tells you right to your face, and you still don't know.
I answered the technically correct answer.
Fidget, please calm down. You mustn't test your friend like this.
This doesn't sound like a test.
I just... If I'm gonna follow you to the literal...
I understand, Fidget. You're right.
But I can. Fidget, you have stood by Dust's side for this entire journey. You have watched him save this world. How can you continue to doubt?
Another tip from a writer's perspective. The first sentence in this entire paragraph, or is it I don't even know. In this block of text, the first line he says refers to the fact that the guy explained that, oh, well, if it's your job, Fidget, you have to follow whoever carries the sword around. That is what the first part implies. The second part is emotional baggage that he doesn't even have to bring up, because that's not technically... Like, the first is a legally binding contract, and he's like, oh, by the way, there's also this emotional reason. It's a little bit iffy in terms of writing. You can't just slap those two together and pretend it works.
I just don't get it. It doesn't matter who he thinks he is. He's dust. That's who he is. That's who I know.
That's what I answered.
Fidget, please. I can't do this without you.
You have 2,000 attack points. I need those to do lots of damage and fancy combos.
Can you repeat that?
And without the angsty gasps.
I said I can't do this without you.
You still did the angsty gasp. You failed.
I'm sorry. Nobody's ever said that to me before.
Without pulling off the lizard tail and pretending they were making a witch's brew, that is. I noticed, by the way, that the eyelids have a bit of a purple streak towards the center. That is either a color problem because the eyelashes are black, or that's a really funky prefer pattern.
And it won't be the last time, I assure you.
To the point that I, whoops, almost spoiled what Dust is going to become.
Are you ready, Mithrarin?
I also do not get what the difference between Sen Mithrarin and Mithrarin is. I assume that it has something to do because who is born from dust might be Mithrarin and Sen means he. I still don't really know.
I am.
Then we will meet you in the Everdawn Basin.
Here's a map! Don't lose it!
Goodbye, Dust. We'll see you there.
I like how she's relatively quiet during this cutscene and suddenly she's like, oh, everything's alright, let's go. Bye-bye. So was this Jin's house or what? I don't think it's ever explained who owned this place. It's just like, here's a house. It's a very nice themic house. I like the house, though. It's not a bad house. Our house. There's a giant hole in the roof. This place is rather themic. If we can... Oh, so the thing... Wow.
General Gaius?
What news, Commander?
I did not want to believe it, but Cassius is working with the Moonbloods. He has turned against us.
I killed the guys! How did he know? Was there another guy in the bushes like, I'm peeping on this combat, I'm gonna tell Colonel Gaius all about it? Because this guy looks... Was he the same? He might not have been the same guy. Check for the scar. He might be the same guy. Also, his mask is black, but you can see at the edges some of his fur. So that was blackened out because he didn't feel like making the eyes happen. Which is alright. You can do that.
That will be for me to decide. Our paths will cross at the Moonblood camp. Of that I am certain. I will speak with him personally.
Might I say, this guy has one heck of a beard and very weird pauldrons with all the feathery stuff coming out. Looks pretty imposing, though. Very nice.
Is that wise?
He has a big sword. I've yet to comment on that, have I? It's a really nice one, too. One-sided with a bit of a notch. I don't know if that's too practical, but hey.
Our victory is all but assured, Commander. We outnumber them 10 to 1. We possess superior technology. And we have the element of surprise.
They do. They have artillery pieces, which again I think are referenced in the achievements, which is kind of eh. But yeah, that might explain the part where I said, oh, they have magic. Why would General Gaius kill people that have magic instead of trying to learn the magic and then kick the shit out of them? I assume he did that. Or something.
But why welcome this rogue element? He has already slain your own soldiers. What more proof do you need that he is a traitor to our cause?
Well, they attacked us, truth be told. Like they were like, oh man, he's a demon, let's kill him. So that's a really bad argument to be making because you're actually signing your own release here. He's like, well, we attacked them first by accident because we're fucking stupid. They never gave Dust an opportunity to explain, so whoops.
Cassius is hardly a rogue element, Commander. The Moonbloods have corrupted his mind.
But...
Cassius, my old friend.
Yeah, this kind of paints him as a good guy to it. Oh, man. I'd be tired of this all too. I like how there's a big blank space in between this. It's just a little bit. Let's go to Cinnamon Caverns. Next time, how about we do a collectathon? We're overdue. Oh, isn't Bobo up here? I think he's up there. He's up at, like, the graveyard. I wouldn't be at the... You'd expect him to be at the graveyard, because this quest is like, oh, my dad's fucking stupid. He died. Can you help me out? Because I want to make sure that my dad doesn't feel like he's dead.
Just you.
I know how much.
Well, I don't have much to offer. Besides from this funny rock.
Thanks, Bobo.
We had our moment together, me and Pa. Taking a walk through the snow, building a fort, watching all those flakes fall from the sky.
This guy knows very well how snow works, apparently, for someone who lives underground where there is no snow.
I know none of it were real, but I'll always have this memory now, thanks to you.
Aw, that's adorable. That's better, I guess. Except for the fort part, which doesn't technically make any sense for him to know about.
I've just gotta be strong now. For Mama. Thanks so much, Dust.
I never got his collar, though, considering that he doesn't have a neck. Kind of looks like he's hoisted into a bag. Snowflakes! Oh. A rainbow resonance gem! That thing is, I think, only useful for one particular thing, which is the, bastion entrance thing. And we're back up at the graveyard. As I said, oh, we get the cooler back. I wonder what fuels it. So next time,